Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 8th grade graduation. Would you please stand for the flag salute?
Buenas noches, señoras y señores. Bienvenidos a nuestra graduación de octavo grado. Favor de ponerse de pie para saludar la bandera.
Ready, begin. You may be seated.
May the Lord protect and defend you. May He always shield you from shame. May you come to be to everyone a shining name. May you be respected and honored. May you be deserving of praise. Strengthen them, O Lord, and keep them from the stranger's ways. May God bless you and grant you all. May God fulfill our hopeful prayers for you. May God make you good husbands and may He send you someone who will care for you. May the Lord protect and defend you. May the Lord preserve you from pain. Favor them, O Lord, with happiness and peace. Oh, hear our fervent prayer. Amen.
And now Miguel Lopez, our salutatorian, has some words to share.
Ahora Irel López, nuestro saluditoreal, tiene algunos trabajos que mostrar.
Good evening, family, friends, Superintendent Durant, school board members, and fellow students. Welcome to the 8th grade graduation of the class of 98. We are pleased to have you celebrate with us our achievements and accomplishments this evening. This class has had some exhilarating, exciting experiences, and we've had some moments that we don't want to remember. But through it all, we've come together to this night, to this stage, to this moment. It is an honor for me to be a part of this class. We do not see this graduation ceremony as an ending of our elementary education, but as a preparation and learning experience for our future and higher education. We are now ready for our next future, high school. It is our turn to move on, make new friends, and learn new things. We are not just growing up physically, but mentally. And our brains, as mentioned many times before, are sponges sucking up knowledge. It is our turn to go out and absorb that knowledge and mature with it. We should all look forward toward high school. I know I do. And I know we will once again succeed and pass on to the next stage, which is college, career, and family. We are eagerly looking toward the future, and we will fondly remember the past as we live it here at Fine School. I would once more like to thank you for being here tonight. Thank you. And now, the class would like to introduce itself.
Graduates of the high school class of the year 98 includes Matthew Sanders, the valedictorian, Joshua Taker, and Shelley Johnson, Tina Elizabeth Gamble, Tina Elizabeth Gamble, Tina Elizabeth Gamble, yes, Sheldon Townsend, Joseph Gamble, Sheldon Townsend, Joseph Gamble, yes, Sheldon Townsend, Joseph Gamble, the Pine class of the year 98 includes Matthew Sanders, the valedictorian Joshua Cager and Portland, the valedictorian Joshua Cager and Portland, yes, of the high school class of the year 98, including Matthew Sanders, the valedictorian Joshua Cager and Portland, Tina Elizabeth Jennifer Kimberly, Tina Elizabeth Jennifer Kimberly, yes, Josh, Matt, Joseph, Shelley, Liz, Tina, Jennifer, Kimberly, graduate of the high school class of the year 98 includes Matthew Sanders.
Edel and I had Miss Offie as a first and second grade teacher. We went to Vaughn's for a field trip and had to roll pants, but it was worth it. We got to eat cookies afterwards. We remember singing with Miss Hugs and dressing up as angels for the Christmas program. Edel would never remember to bring his reading slips because he was too busy writing love notes to 8th grade girls. Sheldon joined Tina and Edel in 3rd and 4th grade. The three of them could have sworn that at one time they were shorter than Mrs. Fargo. Their 3rd and 4th grade field trips were to San Diego Mission, SeaWorld, and the Salton Sea. They made missions, and of course, who could forget Candy Cottages, which Sheldon dropped before he even got home. Sheldon must have gotten in tip-top shape after running away from Mrs. Fargo in the schoolyard. Sheldon recalls never having to pull out any cards in that class. Josh joined us in 5th grade. Our teacher was Mr. Jarvis. He would take away any candy from us and eat it. My turn. I was caught with Pop-Tarts in class. He snatched them from my hands and threw them in the garbage. And when I wasn't looking, he got them out and ate them. But that's okay, the boys would always take his wallet away. Kimberly and I came in 6th grade. Miss Burton was our teacher. When we behaved, she'd give us Jolly Ranchers and sour licorice. Josh and Edel had set their goals for valedictorian and salutatorian. Look where it's brought them now. That year, we switched classes. Our field trips with Deb were to an Indian powwow and the Pioneers Museum. Miss Burton took us to Oasis Water Park for accelerated reading. Kimberly would always give the boys a good challenge in soccer, or in better words, beat the boys. On my first year of day training, I made it to the regionals in LA. There, Frank Lopez and Colt Snyder chased me down the block of the hotel with shaved cream. That year, we got oobleck all over the class. Josh had bad knees and couldn't do PE most of the year. Mr. Kirchenbauer became our teacher. Miss Burton, will you please stand? Tonight, we'd like to show our appreciation to Mrs. Burton for everything that she's done for us in our 6th grade year. Matt and Jennifer came in 7th grade. Deb was our teacher. For Halloween, Matt came as a girl, and Liz enjoyed snapping his bra. Rumor has it that Matt got pounced by Damien Morales and Carlos Padilla. We went on the Oregon Trail, made 2 bridges, and found the average student, and did a Woody Guthrie performance. Josh broke his arm while he was arm wrestling, so he couldn't do PE either. Honor roll went to Deanne Borrego Oasis. I got suspended for physically hurting someone and Adele got caught with a slingshot. We toilet papered Mrs. Rodriguez's class for her birthday. Oh, and Sheldon had a crush on Laura Figueroa. Joseph came in 8th grade. Deb was our teacher. We did baseball math, dissected squid, and did a play called The Perils of Priscilla. Joseph went through puberty during the play, and Jennifer was the wheelbarrow queen. This year, we got a library. Jennifer was always bringing roses for Deb. Kiss up. For cross-country regionals, Edel and I went to Las Vegas. We visited the Hoover Dam, saw the dam walls, had a dam tour guide, and just plain damn fun. We stayed at Circus and saw lots of spots. The boys soccer team won one game. I was ASB president, Edel was vice president, and Matt was treasurer. El Nino got us a day off school. Our class went to watch Amistad, and Honor Roll went to see Beth, Kiss Me Kate, and the Southwest Symphony Orchestra. Edel and I held Matt hostage in the classroom. No one paid the ransom. At Astro Camp, Edel lost his clothes while he was in the shower. Sheldon got toothpasted. Josh scared Edel to death, although Josh denies it was him.
Wasn't me, baby.
Matt and Sheldon got caught in the girls' dorm. And of course, the 8th grade boys' raging hormones got so out of control that they started hitting up on 4th grade girls. We also celebrated Matt's birthday during dinner. This year, Josh had to do PE because he didn't have anything left to break. From this day forth, we will create many memories throughout our life. Some we will love and some we won't want to remember. But through life, we shall succeed and accomplish our goals as the Pine School class of 1998. Thank you.
Now our principal, Mr. Kirchenbauer, would like to have a few words.
Ahora con ustedes nuestro principal, el señor Kirchenbauer, que dirá unas palabras para la audiencia.
One minor adjustment. I don't know how to follow something like the beginning of the program this evening, but I do want to join with Adele in welcoming. Nice to be here, huh? to tonight's graduation exercise. I know you're going to enjoy it. It will continue to be a very enlightening, entertaining, and fun evening for you, all of you. Before we start with the rest of the program, though, I'd like to, at this time, recognize our 4 board members that are here this evening. Mr. Jim Berger. Would you stand, Jim, and be recognized? Paula Davis. Bill Parker. And Bill Strong. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. I'd also like to recognize and ask at this time Mr. Duran, who is our superintendent, to come forth and say a few words, share some thoughts with us. Mr. Duran.
Good evening. It's a real privilege to be here with these students as they graduate from the middle school. And in looking at these students and looking out at the audience, it's really important that we pay tribute to the Pine School staff, the parents and the grandparents that are here this evening, as well as the guests and other students that have supported these students through their education. I want to also thank the governing board for being here tonight and recognizing our students and our future leaders. This evening is really symbolic, and it is symbolic in that these students have had an excellent role model. They've had an excellent role model with their staff, But I want to pay this tribute to John Kirchenbauer. John has been an excellent educator for many, many years. And I think that as we look at the students, as I recall when I was going through school, I looked so hard for those educators that I could pattern my life after. What were those traits? And Mr. Kirchenbauer has shown those. And I don't know if you've seen them, but I certainly have. I've seen his dedication, his commitment. He is extremely diversified in many areas and talents. And he shows incredible work ethics. The technology, he's striving towards that, the library, all of those things will be tributes to him. And this is what our students have been a part of. And these are the kind of ethics that I personally will work in my career to continue to build as well. Students at the junior high tonight basically have reached a benchmark. And in closing, I just want to share with you that I'm certain that given the leadership that you have gained here, that your education at the high school will be equally gratifying and successful. I wish to thank everybody here tonight again, and thank you, staff and Mr. Kirchenbauer.
I don't have anything to say. Thank you for those words, Mr. Grad. I was feeling a little melancholy when I came to work this morning and thinking that it really is, they said the end is near, and 30 years in the education field and the end is near. And now I feel even more melancholy as he kept saying those things, because oftentimes, I don't perceive myself like other people do. And I always know what I didn't do and what I could have done. And so when people tell me I did a good job, I keep thinking to myself, well, I could have done better. And I guess that's maybe something each and every one of you as graduates could continue to think, that even though you are told you're doing a great job, keep trying to do even better. But anyway, I'll go on with what I did have on my notes that may not be very coherent. I do feel, though, that when I was allowed to come out to Pine, that it's been a blessing for me. The entire staff is wonderful to work with. They're great people. They have a lot of dedication, as Mr. Duran said. It's a community that does believe that it takes a community to educate a child. And that's what I've dealt with since I've been at Pine, and I feel truly blessed for that. I said it before, and I would say it again, that if I had started my administrative credentialing and administrative career at Pine, I may not have wanted to leave forever. That doesn't mean everybody else would have wanted to be here forever, but I don't think that I would have wanted to leave. But it didn't work out that way. And at this time, I had a few comments that I'd like to make for the graduates. So if you'll excuse my back, I want to go ahead and address the rest of my talk to the graduates. And each year I try to do this. And each year I really sincerely mean each and every one of the words that I'll say. As Adele said in his talk, this is the start of the future for you and the opportunities that you're going to face and be given in the next years to come. You want to continue to improve in everything that you do. In all aspects of your life, you want to improve, whether it be in academics or in sociability. The challenges will continue to present themselves, even if it's just trying to find your locker on the first day. When you go up to the high school and you've got to go from one class to the next. That'll be a challenge for you. But they're not unsurmountable. There are other challenges that you'll need to face. And that's that you have to overcome this thought that just because you go to school and sit in a chair, that you're going to be moved on. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. When you get to the high school level, you are going to have to produce. And when you produce, you'll get the results, and that'll be passing grades. Don't go to high school and think a D's a passing grade. A D's just a grade. You gotta have a C, D, or an A. That's the only thing you should settle for, no less. Remember, ever since I've been in the Holtville Unified School District, Pine has had a tradition. A tradition of excellence. When you go to the high school, we expect nothing but the best, nothing but excellence from each and every one of you sitting here, because you represent Pine School when you go to the high school. So I would ask you to remember and perpetuate the tradition that has been established here at Pine. Liz indicated that you need to set your goals and then see them through. And she mentioned about memories too. You won't have any memories unless you take part. And you have to take part in life before you'll have a memory of what you've done. So you need to take every possible activity while you're at the high school and participate. Be a part. So you've probably all heard the statement, if you aren't part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. So be part of the solution when you get there. Take part. And finally, I'd ask you to take care. Best wishes for a successful high school career and any life that follows thereafter. And now, I'm going to quit, and we're going to start with some presentations of awards. Thank you. First, I'd like to recognize the ASP. So if the ASP officers would stand. I'd like to have our president, Liz Robinson, come forward. Yeah, Vice President, Adele. And we had our secretary, and she's sitting out in the audience. Would you come forward, please? Shauna, sounds great. And Matt Sander, who was our treasurer, did a great job. Always had a lot of money in the kitty. Matt Sander, treasurer. The pen's in the mail. Is that what they always say? Okay, thank you very much. There was a semi-tradition, I guess. I didn't last year give a principal's award, but this year I'd like to. And this year I felt very fortunate in the leadership that we had on our campus. And at this time, Elizabeth, would you come forward? I wanted to tell you that Elizabeth was the ringleader, if you will. She took care of a lot of things when I wasn't able to be in the meetings. She ran the meetings very well. As a matter of fact, Mrs. Martinez would tell me I'd have to leave the room, and when I came back, Mrs. Martinez said, boy, those kids in there, they just went cat. But before long, they got their business taken care of. And it was all due to Liz's leadership, and I wanted to recognize her for that. She's done a great job as ASB president. She took care of the recognizing the teachers during Teachers Week. And basically, we had a lot of activities that the ASB has taken part in. And for that, I'm awarding Liz the outstanding leadership as ASB president. And it reads, because of you, our school is a better place to learn. You have proven to me by your actions that one person can make a difference. I applaud you for what you have accomplished and look forward to hearing even more great things about you in the future. Thank you. At this time, I'd like for the salutatorian, Adele Lopez, come forward, please. I just want to hold on to this just for a little while. I never really got too close to getting one. And I did have a 1.0 in junior year. I really worked hard that week. Adele, I want to present you with the salutatorian award this year. Congratulations, and I hope to see your name on the same plaque, or even maybe better when you get to finish high school. Congratulations. Josh. Would you like to come forward, please? Josh is our valedictorian. Great golfer, by the way. Taught him everything I know. Took about 2 to 3 minutes ago. Yeah, he's done a great job throughout, and you heard in the beginning it was 4.0, 4.0, 4.0, and on. Well, I think they said it for every 4.0 that he had. Is that right? So that was it. Okay, now this time I would like to ask the matriarch of Pine School, Ms. Joe Thornburg, to come forward and present the reading award. Joe?
Deborah and I chose to give a reading award because reading has meant so much in our lives, and I taught reading for 28 years. She hasn't had that much experience, but through the years we've given it for various reasons. The most improved reader, the one who reads the most, or something like that. This year, the one who will receive the award because she loves it as much as we do. She loves reading. She reads all the time, I understand. At this time, Jennifer Foster.
And to present the Joe Gillen Sportsmanship Award, Mrs. Terrell.
This year's Sportsmanship Award goes to a student or a player who, she's a team player. She's someone who, whenever the team starts getting down or if we start doing bad, she's always the one to pep the team up and get them going again. And I think Mr. Kirschenbauer basically said it all whenever he gave her the principal's award, because she really does deserve it.
Not only that, she's a good athlete. At this time, I'd like to ask Ms. Debbie Thornburg to come forward to present the Presidential Academic Fitness Award.
Before we get to that, Adele has been one of my runners since 5th grade, and the runners, if they qualify locally, they get to go on trips all around and go to regionals and nationals and so forth. So I've had quite a few overnighters with Adele. Now come on. And Adele leaves things behind. So I told him, Adele, I have something of yours that I'm going to present. And he, oh my gosh, did I leave my boxers with your sisters? No. Adele, it's your Pillsbury Doughboy. You're welcome. Every once in a while, as a teacher, I get a student who makes me look good. And those of you who've been in education, you know what I'm talking about. A student comes into your room, and in spite of what you do to them, they learn. And I've had the extreme honor of having such a student for the last 3-4 years. Josh has excelled in everything he's done. He's great. The criteria for the Presidential Academic Fitness is that the student must maintain a 3.5 or better GPA. Well, Josh has maintained a 4.0. that he be, excuse me, in the top 90 percentile in the nation in standardized tests. Josh is in the 97th percentile. And boy, did that bring up my class scores. Josh? Included in the packet that Josh gets is a letter from President Clinton congratulating him on his achievements, and also a pin that says Presidential Academic Fitness. Congratulations, Josh.
And at this time, I would ask Mr. Pete Mellinger to come forward to present his American Legion Award. Mr. Mellinger.
Members of the graduating class of Pine School of 98, and yes, the American Legion is always looking forward to presenting the American Legion Award to those students who have done, or that student who has done an outstanding job while attending their school that is being recognized. I would like to read from the presentation what the necessary qualities that are needed to receive this award from the American Legion. This award is being presented, of course, on behalf of the Bradley Kiefer Post 138 from Holtville, California. In recognition of the possession of those high qualities of courage, honor, leadership, patriotism, scholarship, and service which are necessary to the preservation and protection of the fundamental institutions of our government and the advancement of society, this award is given to Joshua Grant. And would you please come forward, and I will present. At this moment, there's also a medallion to go with this. The young and the old, which is better looking?
Well, at this time, on my notes, it says, leave the stage. I guess that's my cue to leave.
Now I'm proud to present our valedictorian, Joshua K. Durant.
Ahora tengo el gusto de presentarles al primer estudiante de la clase, Joshua K. Durant.
Good evening. I am the valedictorian of the graduating 8th grade class of 1998. And with that title comes the implication that I've actually learned something these last 8 years. I would like to share with you tonight some of the lessons I've learned, whether they be text material or just plain accidental occurrences that happen throughout life. Let's think about Columbus for a moment. He thought he could reach India by sailing west. His theory was correct, but he never made it. Instead of reaching India, he found a whole new world. Think about it. That's a pretty colossal mistake. And yet we study what this man did in schools across the nation. What conclusion am I to draw from this? That making a mistake is not the end of the world. Think of all the wonderful things that have been discovered or invented by mistake. Alexander Fleming in the discovery of penicillin, or Coronado in his search for the 7 cities of gold and finding the Grand Canyon instead. Everybody makes mistakes, but the biggest mistake is not to learn from them. Lesson number 2. Did you know George Washington never threw a silver dollar into the Potomac River? That he never chopped down a cherry tree? Did you know Paul Revere never finished his famous ride? So what? These men were heroes without all of these embellishments. What's the lesson to be learned here? That doing your job well and taking a stand for what you believe in makes all of us heroes. And someone shouldn't have to write fairy tales about them to make it more true. Lesson number 3. We're taught in this country that if you want something and you work hard enough, you can get it. That's not true. The boys team here at Pine School in the last 2 years have won maybe 2 games. And it wasn't for lack of trying or hard work, or not that we didn't want it, or did we want it. What's the lesson to be learned here? You may not always get what you want, but you'll feel better knowing you've given your all and tried. There is no shame in losing. Lesson number 4. Repeatedly, we're told that our future jobs will be in team and cooperative settings. Towards that end, our teachers sometimes have us work in small groups. Do you know what I learned from this? Well, initially everyone starts out gung-ho, ready to go to work. But as soon as the tasks are assigned, enthusiasm fades rapidly. Now sometimes you might be satisfied with the end product put forth by your colleagues, and sometimes you might have to compensate for the shortcomings of others. It's not only a job skill, it's a life skill. Lesson number 5. I've learned never ever to throw food in the cafeteria while Deb is watching. Possibly the most important lesson I've learned is that with honors, cheers, recognition, and acknowledgments comes responsibility. I was selected valedictorian for this class. I accepted this honor with pride and gratitude. But with that honor came the responsibility of writing and delivering a speech here tonight. You are here this evening to acknowledge our accomplishments, to celebrate our graduation, to shower us with hugs and kisses, and then it becomes our responsibility to pay you back by striving and succeeding to the best of our abilities for the next 4 years. I sure hope we can do that. Thank you.
The class realizes that there are a lot of people who got us here tonight, and we would all like to give our thanks and recognition to some of them.
Nuestra clase reconoce que hay muchas personas por las cuales estamos aquí esta noche. Nos gustaría darles nuestros agradecimientos a algunos de ellos.
this year a good one for our last year at Pine. Tonight I will be concentrating on the teachers. We of the 98 graduating class would like to thank all of you for everything. Now every year the 8th graders give the teachers gifts. This year we have got, following an old tradition, we have gotten the teachers apples. Please come up to the front when you hear your name. Teachers. Mrs. Underwood and Mrs. Gray. Mrs. Bobby. Mrs. Campbell. Mr. Phillips. Mrs. Descada. Mrs. Fargo. Mrs. Terrell. Mrs. Urias. Mrs. Irwin. And last but definitely not least, Deborah Warner. Okay, I think it's now Edel and Liz would like to have a word.
Okay. Tonight, we would like to give a special appreciation to Deb Thornburg. Throughout the years, she has managed teaching 2 grade levels at the same time. This year was her last. We would like to show how much she has done for us with this class. Deb, will you please come forward?
It is a nice gift.
Barnes and Noble. I need to point out that it's not my last year teaching. It's my last year with a combination class. Thank you all very, very much. I appreciate it.
Deb, I know you like books, and you are a great teacher, and you've influenced us in a lot of ways, and you have encouraged us, greatly. Thank you. I love you, Deb.
And we'll miss you too.
If I were still up there, I'd give you a hug.
Will Wanda, Durant, and Vita, yeah, please come up here. Wanda, yeah, you too. Now, these 2 people right here are the people that helped us get the perfect gift with that, and that have came up with this idea. Yeah, the mom, their parents. Josh's mom and... Thank you.
process, and we had a few things that we got together and wanted to say during.
Noches, estamos aquí para representar a los padres de los estudiantes que se están graduando este año. Y yo voy a tratar de hacer lo mejor posible para tratar de transmitir lo que ella está explicando.
A teacher. What is a teacher? Well, we all start with the Webster definition, I think, for everything, and all I could find was one who teaches to show or help a student to learn to do something, give lessons.
Estuvimos buscando en el diccionario qué significa la palabra maestra. Maestra es una persona que enseña, que les ayuda a los estudiantes y que también les ayuda a hacer muchas cosas y prepara lecciones.
But what happens when, as a parent, we begin to see a teacher who,
Pero ¿qué pasa como nosotros, como padres, empezamos a mirar cosas acerca de una maestra que
a teacher who gives of her own personal time and money to help your child?
una maestra que da su propio tiempo, su ayuda a su hijo,
A teacher who offers her home phone to call for any reason to student and parents.
una maestra que ofrece su ayuda, su número de teléfono y que le hablen a cualquier tiempo o a qué hora.
And one who is a motivator, a mentor, a counselor, and a coach.
Una que motiva a los estudiantes, que los motiva para que se superen, consejera y coach de educación física.
One who respects and requires respect.
Una que respeta y que respeta y también quiere respeto.
And one who gives above and beyond their point of exhaustion.
Y una que da más de lo que tiene que dar al punto de cansancio.
This is a brief description of what the parents of the 8th grade class of high school have seen in Deborah Thornburg. And so, we'd like to present something to you now. So can you come up?
Este es una breve descripción acerca de esta gran maestra y esto es lo que la clase del 1989 le estamos ofreciendo. María y Galín.
The parents of Pine School,
Los padres de Pine School,
the 1998 8th grade graduates,
1998 graduados del 8,
present to Deb Thornburg
presentamos a Deb Thornburg
an appreciation for outstanding and inspiring instruction. Go ahead, good teaching.
en gratitud de una gran maestra que sobreviene y nos inspira como educadora.
Dedicated service.
Servicio dedicado.
And always going that extra mile for our children. We appreciate it.
Y siempre se va una milla extra para nuestros hijos.
We have one more thing. We have, as the parents got together, also got our dozen roses. Nine roses, each represents the parents of one of the graduates.
9 rosas, cada rosa representa los estudiantes.
Felix and Juanita Cortez, Wanda Durant, Dwayne Durant, Billy and Flora Foster, Joseph and Margarita Gamble, Tony and Alma Lopez, Ruby Oliva, Frank and Elvita Robinson, Bill and Carrie Sanders, and Johnny and Beverly Townsend. The three roses that are left represent what we see that you have instilled in our children. One rose is for faith and confidence that you put in themselves to try and do their best.
The second rose is for hope. You gave them hope in their future as they go to high school. And the third thing, and the one that all of us parents said that we wanted to make sure that you knew, that you gave our kids love, our children loves for themselves and for others. Thank you, Dad, for loving our children to a higher plane of existence.
All I can say is it's easy to do when you have a job that you love. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Matt Sanders. I'm glad I can stand up here and thank Mr. Kirchenbauer on behalf of the whole school. He's been a great principal to our school and to many others. Mr. Kirchenbauer began as a school teacher in 1968. He spent the next 11 years at the Holtville High School. His next position was in special ed, PE, and math in the Central School District. He moved back to Holtville and was the principal for the middle school for 3 years, vice principal at the high school for 5.5. And lucky for us, May of 1996, he became principal at Pine School. During all of his years of education, he also found time to coach sports, most notably the Viking wrestling team. I would like to present him with this gift on behalf of the 1998 graduates. Will you please step forward? Would you like to say something? Thank you for being here. Try not to lose your golf ball and keep in touch. Happy retirement. Thank you. At this time, there will be a presentation from the staff and Pine Community Club.
That was supposed to take seven, John.
I gotta find out if there's
Greener pastures, right?
Greener fairways.
Yeah, I was gonna say greener golf courses, I think.
We've been very privileged to have Mr. Kirchenbauer out here for the last 2 years, and
By the way, I'm a subpar principal.
I got him. We've been very privileged to work with him, and not only the staff, but also the community club, school site council, all the parents groups that we have. Step up there and say something nice.
Well, there you go.
I don't know, I'm not so good at that. But John has been a great help with Team Community Club this year. It's been astounding what we've got to get done. We've been missing a library sorely for years, and now we have one. It's very important, and the kids are getting great use out of it. He's instrumental in getting the computers set up and the books that we've got, and we've just really appreciated his help and assistance in getting us on the way with the library. Many other things. All of it.
Open that.
Right over there.
It says, in honor of John Kirchenbauer. It's going to go on his tombstone, and no. No. The staff and the community club have gotten together, and we are having a new bookshelf made for the library, and that plaque will be attached. so that every time we go in there and shove books onto the shelf, we're going to think of you.
Mr. Grant, we'll buy some more books. So much. I don't have much more to add other than we're going to miss John, and like I said, he's probably off to greener pastures, but we know that's a golf course. So if he keeps in shape and is still on the move, we'd like to see him back here to visit all the time. Thank you.
Obviously, things don't happen just because one person's involved. The school district, board members, Mr. Duran, the teachers, Mr. Layton, all of the people, the athletic club, there's a lot of different people responsible for things that happen, and they're not due necessarily just to a person. But I think it's really neat that there will be what'd you say you had put the library? At least the thing that we tried to do is get it established, and it is in place, and we really appreciate that, and the fact that we're continuing to buy and purchase books for our children to read. A lot of the people are real impressed with fine kids because they read so much, and Karen Bailey said it, that she loves it out here because the kids read and read and read, and that's what a librarian, of course, life is about. They say, I love to see kids read, and she has kept the library going for us, and we hope next year that she'll be a full-time. Just a brief, to let you know what I intend to do. Mary Jane's going to retire in April of next year, and she and I have plans to move back to Stillwater, Oklahoma, where I graduated from Oklahoma State in sometime back in 64 or someplace in that neighborhood. And I hope to acquire a job at the Oklahoma State Athletic Department and work in the athletic department at the university. I have property in Stillwater, and I'm building my house overlooking my pond, which will have my putting green on the other side of the pond. Anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate this, and what else can I say but thank all of you, you parents, and the fine community for a great 2.5 years. Thank you very much.
On this night, we would not only like to thank the teachers, but we would also like to thank our parents. Our parents are the air that we breathe. Our parents give us everything that we need. They are our lifetime teachers until we become of parental status.
They treat us up whenever we're upset and down, and whenever we're bad, they discipline us.
Every one of us should be proud of our parents, and now they should be proud of us on this graduation night.
We love you, Mom and Dad. All of you. Thank you.
Richard Sheldon Townsend. Well, I read his name backwards, so he would go backwards. Matthew James Sander. Kimberly Cortez. Joseph Wayne Gamble. Christina Olivas. Joshua K. Durant. Jennifer Ann Foster. Adele Howell Lopez. Congratulations to the class of 1998. At this time, Mr. Frank Robinson come forward for the benediction.